that. Let's get to the biggest surprise team. Russ, since you had such a hot take on the last one, we'll let you go first here. Your biggest surprise team. And what I mean by surprise is a team who's generally picked to finish much lower in the Big Ten standings than you think they will finish, let's say 3-4 spots higher, maybe a little bit higher than that. What are your thoughts, Russ?
So I kind of have two, but one of them is going to be answered in another question later on. So
Okay.
I'll go with Nebraska for this answer.
Okay.
I think that one of the big things you got to bet on in this era of college basketball, when you're talking about, are you going to do all transfers? Are you going to go all recruits? Are you doing a mixture? Have you moved schools? If you're going to gauge success of a team going into the season, I think the biggest factor is your head coach. And I'm a big fan of Coach Hoiberg. I think he did a great job last year. People seem to forget he was top 4 in the Big Ten last year, had the double bye. And I think he did a great job replacing some pieces. Now he only does have one freshman coming in. He has just the 4-star freshman from out west coming in. But I think that, with guys like Griffiths coming in from Rutgers, taking advantage of some of these guys that are leaving some big-time programs. You got schools like Washington bringing 8 transfers in, but, none of them are from Power 5 programs. Nebraska went and got Power 5 guys to bolster that roster, and I think that he could push for a top 6 spot, maybe even a top 4 spot in the Big Ten this year.
All right. I like the pick. I will not lie. I thought about putting them as my worst team in the Big Ten. So that would be a surprise if they don't finish near the bottom. Dylan, who's your pick for the biggest surprise team?
You'll like my answer. I'm going to say Ohio State. I think Diebler's building something there. You got Aaron Bradshaw from Kentucky, the 7-footer. As we know here at Purdue, 7-footers, they work. And they can end up becoming one of the best to ever do it. A shout out to our guy, Big Z. But yeah, I think Diebler's kind of had a lot of good things going on. He's built pretty good momentum up there in Columbus, as much as I hate to say it, because we all know I love Ohio State. And I love living in Ohio, and I love living with all these Buckeyes. And I even went to campus for the first time in like 10 years, a few weeks ago. Too many stairs at that football stadium. Ohio Stadium is too many stairs. Was not having it.
They do have an elevator. Did you not take the elevator?
You know how many old people I got to wait behind to get into that elevator?
Wow, that's true.
Like, there, you know how many Russes are in line for that elevator? It's like 100 of them. Like, excuse me, Grandpa, I'm 28 and I still need to use the elevator. Like, excuse me, I'm just out of shape. No, man. But I think Ohio State's gonna have a great year. They upset the Boilers last year, which was a tough pill to swallow. But I'm expecting big things from Diebler and the Columbus Nuts.
There we go. They're nuts.
Yep.
They're nuts over there in Columbus. All right, I can't say I don't love that pick, Dylan. I will be rooting for that pick from you. My pick to finish higher in the Big Ten than many people are speculating is actually going to be Iowa this year. I think that Iowa has a pretty good chance. A lot of places are projecting them to be bottom half in the Big Ten. I think they'll be top half in the Big Ten, and dare I say it, possibly top 5 in the Big Ten this season. Barton Torvik gives them the 4th easiest strength of schedule in the Big Ten. I know they're losing Tony Perkins, Ben Krikke, Patrick McCaffrey, those kind of guys, but I think Peyton Sanford is going to be a contender to be the player of the year in the Big Ten this year. Why am I blanking on the coach's name right now? McCaffrey, what's his first name? Fran. I don't know how I forgot Fran McCaffrey.
Oh, he's somewhere. Fran is screaming into an oblivion that you forgot his name.
I know he is.
I mean, they've been saying
right
basketball football coach for like 50 years now. So
I know. I don't know how I forgot. And this is also might be me making up a little bit to the Iowa fans, since I did tell them their head coach was overrated like just a few nights ago in football. So in basketball,
you're not wrong.
Though, well, yeah, I'm not wrong. In basketball, though, I think they are set to have a pretty good year. I think there's a lot of good talent on the roster remaining. Josh Dix, Owen Freeman was the freshman of the year last year, and underrated addition to the team, Drew Thelwell from Morehead State was a really good player for Morehead State last year. I think he could be starting on the team this year. And if he has a good year, I think that'll be a big contributing factor to Iowa being a top 5 team. Burke, who's yours?
Mine's Ohio State as well. I honestly was going to say I was going to use Iowa as my backup until you use them. But Ohio State, I think there is a lot of talent on there. Like we're getting docked probably more aggressively for Mike Woodson. They are getting docked a bit for Diebler. He does have a lot to prove still. but he ended that season on a roll. There was a lot to build on there. I really like Aaron Bradshaw. I think that is a project that is worth taking on for the Buckeyes. I think it should yield some competent results. And yeah, that's my squad.
All right, very good. We have Philip saying Northwestern's going to be a top 7 finisher. I don't get the Northwestern slander this year. Are you guys in on the Northwestern's going to be like a top 3 or a bottom 3 team?
I mean,
not bottom 3. No. Yeah.
Okay. I've seen
Not
a lot of
bottom
people
3,
saying
but
they're
I
going to
get
miss
it. I get the
I
slander,
was
though.
seeing a lot of people say they're going to miss the Big Ten tournament altogether and like not even be in it. And I'm like, Chris Collins is still a good coach. They still have Brooke Barnheiser. Like I know they lost Boo Buie, but I don't know.
God, I'm
Dude,
gonna
but
miss
look at
saying the name Boo
history.
Buie.
Look at all the
Yeah.
history of Northwestern basketball. There was a time before Boo Buie. Now we're at the time after Boo Buie. So we'll
God, I
see if
love
they were
saying
able
Boo
to
Buie.
adjust in that time during Boo Buie. And
Boo Buie's almost as catchy as saying Guggenheim.
that is a all-time Big Ten name right there.
Zach
for sure.
would be honored to be in that kind of
I
category.
love Zach Guggenheim. Big fan of his. Handsome son of a gun. Love you, Zach. You're probably not watching. That's
Yeah,
fine.
he's more of a football guy. Yeah, I mean Brooks Barnheiser, Ty Berry is coming back, Nick Martinelli, Matthew Nicholson. I know he's just kind of a big guy, but I think he's a good passer down in the post. So I don't know. I don't see them being a bottom 3 team. I thought about them as being my surprise team, but I do think that the losing Boo Buie is going to be a factor. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they finish top 7. And then John is calling a shot right now. He says, Michigan can't be any worse than they were last year. LOL. I think they surprise a lot of people. What do you guys think about Michigan?
Bold take. You think they're going to win more than 3 Big Ten wins this year? That's bold. Wow.
Ooh. Also, JR, you said the M word. Congratulations.
Well, I say it on this podcast because,
Oh.
I figure they probably don't like it if I call them the team up north and a Big Ten podcast. So.
Did I hear right that like part of Danny Wolf's NIL agreement is he gets to start, and that's why like May's selling them on this too big thing?
I think that was like a rumor, and I tend to believe it. But
okay, yeah, I don't know. As a guy who's been going through the too big project, I am with Malik Renew, I feel kind of competent, but as for them using it, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. And Robe Dust is here. Yo, Hoosiers. There we go. Appreciate you being here, Robe Dust. And Philip, guys, he's calling you guys out. He says double standard for Purdue to Northwestern on expectations. Both lost the best in the school history. Both had good coaches. Both return a ton of production. Well, the only thing I'll say to that, Philip, is we don't know if the Purdue guys are going to pick Purdue to win the Big Ten or not. I mean, we all know the Purdue fan base might not pick them.
Hey, newsflash, you don't know if I'm going to pick Indiana. So,
ooh, that's what we call a teaser in the business.
Watch
never mind. There
Burke
goes the
pick
teaser.
Purdue and Russ pick Indiana. That'd be awesome.
I would kick Russ off the podcast if he did such a thing. I don't have that power, but I would do it. Put it up to a vote. There's like 10 of us, so I mean,
I like it.